Hello, classmates. How are you? Today I'm going to be discussing, this is our fourth small group discussion where we could choose, about a certain event, something that we want to discuss. I found an article since I am a counselor, a vocational rehabilitation counselor with the state under DARS, Division for Blind Services. I found a really interesting article based on that on my specialty. The article is called Subway Dreams Disability, Inclusion, and Identity in New York. And it is written by Paras Shah. And basically, this article it touches base on people that are legally blind, and also other issues that they have based on that, the stigma and the barriers to inclusion and accessibility that many of these individuals face. So basically, this article, the link was there in my posting, but just a quick summary. This article starts with Shaw. He's actually also the person here in the article describing what it is like to take the subway, and that as soon as he's going down the stairs, he takes out his white cane, and then that's when he notices, that people actually start to um, either help him, or he feels, either the stairs, and it's what he calls the acute attitudinal shifts. So he also feels, that individuals are curious about his disability. They're uncertain. Some people admire him for it. And he knows and he feels the pity, that pity towards him as well. And in that article, he writes that he ponders about a different type of subway ride, one where accessibility is present for all people with disabilities. Mind you, he has to go down the stairs by himself. Some people help him, but if it were to, be an accessible subway, there would have been access, either like a ramp, also an elevator, some other form um, for him to be able to descend into the subway. So, according to Shaw, and this I'm taking right out of his article, the World Health Organization estimates that 1 billion people, 1 in 7 of the world's population, have some form of physical, sensory, or psychosocial disability. So even through this huge number, people with disabilities continue to have reduced access to the most important things in life, like education, transportation, overall quality of life, among other things. Quality of life, that it's measured by many things. It covers the areas of physical well-being, um, also material well-being, social, emotional well-being, development, and activity. So, as a counselor, I touch base, on all those points, and I'm able to address any issues such as the lack of inclusion, or accessibility for my consumers as well. So when we address that, we also talk about the ADA, which is the American with Disabilities Act, that it seeks to focus on tearing, those barriers down, towards employment and towards, other businesses, but there still continues to be that lack. There's a lack of wheelchair ramps, the absence of sign language interpreters. There's no braille available to many of our consumers in restaurants. Someone has to read the menu to them. And even at that, also there's even like the scarcity of mental health services as well. So, the American Disabilities Act, it assists people with disabilities that experience barrier at work sites, and also when it comes to gainful employment. So businesses need to follow this, this very important law. But again, like I said, they don't actually do. They discriminate, and even though this is against that, the ADA prohibits employers from discriminating against employees or applicants with disabilities, either when they're hiring, with their pay, their promotion. It still continues to happen. And what they don't understand is that if they can accommodate that individual as long as it doesn't cause any undue hardship. And many of these accommodations are very simple things. For example, here through DARS, Division for Blind Services, if I were to place a consumer somewhere that they needed assistance with a speech software, some sort of magnification, if the business doesn't have the means available, the funds, then maybe we might be able to assist and uh, through purchasing, that equipment in order for that individual, for that consumer of ours to maintain their jobs or to be hired. So there are many good resources out there that businesses don't know about, and they're scared. Um, they're scared of asking, but that's what we're here for. And as vocational rehabilitation counselors, that's what we're here for as well too. So also something that Shaw states in his article, it's the stigma and the discrimination. And I did research, I looked for the definition, and it says stigma is a mark of disgrace, a spot or scar on the skin. um, this, stigma can also be more complex than this, of course, because it's a tool to set aside and marginalize people with disabilities and other minority groups as well. It's overall. And stigma is also a matter of perspective, and a matter of behavior, stemming from that associated viewpoint. So we also need to work with that against those unfair beliefs, which then cause discrimination. And also, this is sometimes, or most of the times, it's due just to plain ignorance of other individuals. People with disabilities face discrimination on a daily basis, such as individuals parking illegally in the handicapped spaces, to not being physically acknowledged. Sometimes, they just look over you and they just they assume that you can't do anything, that you can't talk, that, and then they just go ahead and start talking, to your mother, your father, your sister, whoever. So that's also discrimination. Also, like in Shaw's case, he states that people were very overly accommodating to him, but he doesn't feel that was necessary, if he were to have, if that subway were to have, the accommodations that he needed, because the people were going through those lands, or to help him, or maybe they might think that he's trying to capture the attention. He also says that he just wanted to enjoy his ride as a normal individual. Disabilities impact us all, and the prevalence of Americans with disabilities should be accepted and bring both the disabled and non-disabled together towards a common goal of being equal. Again, this is what Shaw he's trying to work for. That's what his bus ride, his subway ride, is about. That he just wants to be treated equal. Also, like they say, that the stigma of being disabled, sometimes it creates martyrs in our culture presently. An individual who is legally blind and uses a white cane, such as Shaw, is brave and courageous, and yet can quickly turn to help his victim, rescued by, the act of a good Samaritan. So it works both ways. While they do accept, the help of other individuals, it can also work against them. Um, so again, we just need to be very mindful of all these situations. Like I said, on a professional level, on a personal note, um, as I am a vocational rehabilitation counselor with DBS, I continue to notice a lack of inclusion and access to visually impaired and or legally blind clients here in my city, in the city of Laredo. It has continued to grow tremendously, but it's one of the most important entries, for imports and export. It still needs to work on its awareness, to increase their awareness in regards to people with disabilities and their rights. Many of the old businesses that we have here need to work on their ADA compliance of entryways, ramps, sidewalks, parking spaces, you name it. So, and also in regards to job placement, I've seen more participation through the very new franchises or nationwide businesses rather than the locally owned ones, which have been in the family generations. So I know it's our job, to go out there, to go to these businesses, to those individuals, provide awareness presentations, dispelling any myths about blindness and, of course, other disabilities, and also in regards to hiring individuals with a disability. Um, as Shaw stated in his article, we need to partner with other organizations and advocate for people with disabilities to remove barriers and promote equity. Well, and then that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. Bye bye.